Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhamad Raihan Ilham Pratama. I'm student of English Education Department in UIN Jakarta. So today I'm going to explain an article. Okay, the first article, the title is Physical and Metabolic Demand of Training and Match Play in the Elite Football Player. This article by P KrustrJ Bangsbo and Mohup. So the purpose of the article is to help determine the health of football player and what football players outcomes, how to become a player who has a good and stable physical when playing. Explain maintaining physical healthy in football players so that players can play stable for 90 minutes, and also to find out healthy eating patterns for player. And the result of the article, football player will always maintain a healthy diet to maintain physical healthy. Football players are not longer lazy for physical exercise, so that they can play stable for 90 minutes, and also football players will not consume food that are harmful to physical health. Players will consume food that make the physical better, so that physical strength can be stable when playing during the 90 minutes. And the next is the conclusion of the article is the result of this study can be used as material in the training process by using application of training method, especially the application of statistical periodization and maintaining physical endurance. Player position to develop physiological responses in elite players football in the face of the language and the need for a player football in making the right decision in playing football. Okay, the next article, the title is the Physical Education, Referral and Decision-Making Process for English Language Learners, Child Study, Team Meeting and Placement Conference. This article by Janette, Klingner and Beth. And the purpose of the article is for special education, referral and decision-making process for English language learners (ELLs), with a focus on child studies, team CST meeting and placement conference, multidisciplinary team meeting, and also study how school personnel determine whether ELLs is struggling with disability, the extent to which influence in the process of understanding and second language, and whether these issues are considered when deciding on special education. And the rest of article find out how school personnel determine ELLs struggling with disabilities, the extent to which they are influenced in the process understanding language acquisition. There is a significant increase in student learning outcomes before and after using ELLs, and the result of the analysis discussion can be concluded that there is an increase in language learning using ELLs. And the conclusion of the article, there is significant increase in student English learning outcomes through ELLs. With the use of these methods, students can improve their English skill and also increase student learning motivation. Students in the English language development courses find learning effective to improve language. ELLs are very useful to students who want to improve their English skill. And the next article, the title is the interlanguage intelligibility benefit. This article by Beth and Bradlow. Okay, the purpose of the article is the study investigates how mother tongue's background affects intelligibility by non-native speaker. For non-native listener, either from the same of different native language background as the speaker, the native English, Chinese, Korean, and mixed group listener from various mother tongue background then perform sentences recognition text with the recording from the five speaker. And the result of the article is so that for native English listener, native English speaking is the most understandable. However, for native listener speak from highly skilled non-native speaker from the same mother tongue background can be like speak from native speaker, giving rise to the matured interlingual speak benefit. And the conclusion of the article is interlanguage intelligibility extends to situation where non-native speaker and listener to come from different linguistic background, giving the rise to the mismatch benefit of speak intelligibility between language. This finding explains the nature of speaker-hearer interaction during speech communication. And the next article, the title Leadership Skill Development for Engineers. This article by John V. Farr and Donna M. And the purpose of the article is to make leadership a key element that defines the engineering profession to stay relevant and connect in the area outsourcing and is increasingly current global competition. Companies intent on maintaining a competitive edge are asking educators to produce tools capable of blending multidisciplinary teams, combining technical inability with business common and product graduates who have a desire from lifelong learning. And the result of the article is product graduates with a passion lifelong learning. Industry also challenge universities to expand curricula beyond the intellectual and the force of design and scientific inquiry into the language dominant of the professional leadership and entrepreneurship. And the conclusion of the article is explore the changing nature of engineering in a globally competitive environment and discuss why leadership should be a key issue in the career advancement of engineering. We will present a later review of leadership model along with some of the purpose solution for cultivating leadership skill as part of the career development process. Finally, we will present specific recommendations on how to cultivate leadership attributes throughout an engineering career. And the next article, the title is Comprehension and English Vocabulary Knowledge. This article by Muhamad and Wen-ying. The purpose of the article is investigation of the overall relative contribution of the four subcomponents of vocabulary knowledge to reading comprehension. The four vocabulary subcomponents are vocabularies, word association knowledge, and collocation knowledge and morphology knowledge. And morphological knowledge. And the result of the article, the result can be concluded as follows. The first, after controlling for the influence of motivation on and efficiently, that for vocabulary subcomponents are distributed significantly to 10%, 20% to reading comprehension performance. In education, the vocabulary knowledge, including word association knowledge, cognition knowledge, and morphology knowledge, and projects in additional variation 6%. In reading comprehension performance over and above the vocabulary measure. And the next is the conclusion of the article. Can create English instructor and research designer towards good pedagogical practice with respect to vocabulary learning and reading comprehension. The next article, the title is Marketing Mix Theoretical Aspect by Išoraitė. The purpose of the article is to analyze the theoretical aspect of the marketing mix. The article discusses the marketing mix is one of the main objectives of the marketing mix elements for setting the objective and measure of the marketing budget. The influence of each element depends not only on the company and its activities, but also on the communication and timing. And the result of the article is create added value for the company. Something is used signified literature and analytical method in the article. An analysis of the significant literature, it can be cited the marketing mix measure are action needed to achieve marketing goals. And the next, the conclusion of the article. Marketing, this instrument operates most effectively when all elements come together and work together. And the next article, the title is Impact Mechanics. So the article by WJ Stronge. Okay. The purpose of the article is to present an analytical cause from experiences for the energy relates to destroy and impact impulse during ship collision of ships with the rigid wall and collision of ship with flexible overhaul structure are considered. And the result of the article obtained by applying these products were compared with the result obtained by time simulation and a good government was research. In addition, a number of illustrative examples are present. And the conclusion of the article can analytical clauses from experience for energy release to destroyer and impact impulse during ship collision of ship with rigid walls and collision of ship with flexible offshore structure are considered. And the next article, the title is big data-driven budgeting and business planning. This article by A Faccia, maybe, and the purpose of the article is a business plan is a management accounting tool. There are many approaches that can be adopted to prepare it, as there are not legal requirements as approaches to obligation related to financial accounting. And the result of the article, based on the experience and commonly used theories, standard process that can be adapted to the business plan of all types of activities. The use of big data highlighted as important part of providing data in almost all budget steps. And the conclusion of the article: all data needs to prepare an accurate related business plan, because study will prove a creative support for determination of direct application of purpose model. And the next article is student motivation in online learning during COVID-19 pandemic era, a case study. This article by is Gustian and Politics. Okay. The purpose of the article is to find out the motivation of Sriwijaya Polytechnic English Department students towards online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the students' transformation from traditional face-to-face learning approach to distance digital learning, several student motivation in online learning is influenced both intrinsically and intrinsically. And the result of the article is that student motivation in online learning influenced both intrinsical and extrinsical using symbolic spelling. There were 80 students participation in the field interview and student in focus group interview. The data obtained from the two interviews were analyzed using semantic analysis. It was relevant the student motivation towards their online learning was intrinsically more influenced by their ambition to learn new knowledge and pleasure in experiencing new learning methods. And the conclusion of the article, it was relevant the student motivation towards their online learning was intrinsically more influenced by their ambition to learn new knowledge and pleasure in experiencing new learning methods. It is also influenced extrinsically by extra regulation and environmental condition. However, motivation or a lack of motivation also occurs due to poor extra support facilities. And the last article, the title is Online Learning and Emergency Remote Teaching: Opportunities and Challenges in Emergency Situation. This article by Farr and P and Buzo. And the purpose of the article is to analyze the opportunities, the challenge of emergency design teaching based on the experience of the COVID-19 emergency. The qualitative research method was carried out in two stages. In the first step, a technique analysis of only discussion forum with international experience from various sectors and countries was carried out. And the second step, the the intelligence case study, both data and opinion leaders statement from secondary honest sources, including web articles, statistical data, and legation were analyzed. And the result of article. The result of the technological, pedagogical, and social challenge. Technological challenges are mainly related to vulnerable internet connecting, and the lack of the electronic device required by many students. And the conclusion of the article is several some of the technological, pedagogical, and social challenges. Technological challenges are mainly related to vulnerable internet connection and lack of electronic device needed by many students. Based on the lesson learned from this war with emergencies challenge and proposal from action to address the same challenge, which sort and something happen are provided. And let's thank you. Maybe just this for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.